My dear mother, devotees who receive such transcendental opulences are never bereft of them. Neither weapons nor the change of time can destroy such opulences. Because the devotees accept me as their friend, their relative, their son, preceptor, benefactor, and supreme deity, they cannot be deprived of their possessions at any time. So Lord Kapila is continuing to describe the glories of devotional service as a chapter is entitled, and is mentioning that in the previous verse we saw that devotees they receive all kinds of benedictions from the Lord, and now he is mentioning that such benedictions are never destroyed. We can see in Bhagavad Gita very properly nicely explains here in the purport also. Lord explains that Lord gives a contrast between the benedictions given by the Lord himself and the benedictions given by the Devatas. So Lord says, men of small intelligence worship the demigods and their fruits are limited and temporary. So, limited and temporary, two things are mentioned. Plus, they reach to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. Now, compared to this, so there are two characteristics, main characteristics of benedictions received by demigods. One is limited, second is temporary. Demigods can give only what they are entitled to give, what is in their control, as sanctioned by the Lord. And second, temporary. Whatever demigods give, it's not up where, it is where. Where means it will deplete, it will finish off. But contrasting to this, Lord says in 9th chapter, exactly we can see how Lord compares. But those who worship me with devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and preserve what they have. So, first Lord says that benedictions given by demigods are temporary, limited. Now here he says, to them I carry what they lack. So whatever a devotee needs, Lord is not bound or restricted that I cannot provide this or I cannot provide that. Whatever, right? Whatever a devotee needs, Lord can provide everything. Why? Because Lord is supreme master, supreme controller, and is supreme proprietor. Demigods are not like that. Demigods are limited to whatever Lord sanctions. Okay. Right? And that also they have to ask the Lord. They have to plead to the Lord that my Prabhupada explains that this foolish person, demigods are praying to Lord in lecture Prabhupada says, this foolish person asking for some benediction, please grant so that I can forward it to him. So, whatever benedictions demigods give, that are also not their property, they are not the proprietors or owners. They have to plead. Endowed with such faith, he seeks favors of a particular demigod and obtains his desires. But in actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone. Right? So first is they are limited. Second, they are temporary. Now here Lord says, to them I carry what they lack and preserve what they have. So, whatever Lord gives, whatever benediction Lord gives, Lord preserves. By Lord's mercy, by Lord's protection, the opulence of a devotee is never destroyed. Neither time can act upon it, nor any weapons, nor demigods can steal them. So, this is a benediction that Lord gives to a devotee. Now, Lord is explaining that the devotees they receive benedictions or opulences, transcendental opulences. So, what is the transcendental opulence? Prabhupada explains. But as far as devotees are concerned, their assets, the achievement of devotional service, and consequently opulence of Vaikuntha, even on this planet, are never destroyed. So, what is the opulence of a devotee? The opulence of a devotee is the devotional service he has acquired and the blessings or the mercy of the Lord that he has acquired. And that's what Lord Krishna says, Yoga Kshemam Vahamya. So Prabhupada explains that yoga means the devotional service that he has attained, that he has practiced and earned. The mercy of the Lord is preserved by the Lord. But not only that, Lord also grants material benedictions to the devotees, not just spiritual progress. That's why we see devotees are never bereft of anything. Like a devotee is never bereft of anything. In 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Lord explains, Vedeshu Yagyeshu Tapasu Chaiva Jnaneshu Punya Phalam Pratishta. Whatever one can attain, all the benedictions that can be attained by study of Vedas, by performing of sacrifices, by performing severe austerities, by cultivation of knowledge, by giving charity, or all other Vedic procedures. All these benedictions a devotee gets. He is not bereft of all these benedictions. Right? Then last, what happens? He attains all these benedictions, plus he attains the supreme abode, supreme transcendental abode of the Lord, which others do not attain. So, whatever one can acquire, whatever one can earn or own by performing different Vedic rituals, different practices, varnashrama practices, religious practices, yogic practices, all benedictions are automatically included in the Lord's blessing when a person does devotional service. Plus, he gets furthermore which others do not get, and that is attainment of the supreme abode, which others will be bereft of. And Lord preserves this. So we know very famous shloka that Neha Vikramanashvasti Pratyavara. Even a small endeavor done on this path is never diminished or destroyed. And one small progress on this path saves person from the greatest danger, greatest fear. So greatest fear, Prabhupada explains, is going down to the animal species. And also Prabhupada explains going to hell. So devotee is saved. Even somebody has a little devotional service, he will be saved from these two greatest dangers. So now, in this verse, Lord is mentioning that the devotee is granted opulences. And also, these opulences are protected. Like in Bhagavad Gita, Lord explains, Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. So we see that even non-devotees also get opulences. Non-devotees also opulent. But the difference between non-devotees opulence and devotees opulence is, non-devotees have attained those opulences. Ravana had opulence, Hiranyakashipu, all, so many people. Even now, presently, we see so many people with demoniac nature. Non-devotees, they are also opulent, wealthy. They have opulence of wealth, they have opulence of intelligence, they have opulence of strength. Some have opulence of even renunciation. So many. Fame, many non-devotees are famous. So, difference between a devotee's opulence and a non-devotee's opulence is, first is, they have attained as per their karma. As much their karma sanctions, as much their karma permits, they get it. But devotee's opulence is not like that. Even if karma doesn't sanction, Lord grants opulence to you. Why? Because in devotee's case, it is very different. See, we will see one example. Once Prabhupada was sitting in an association, he was giving association. And then many devotees were assembled there, and one devotee was missing. He was working in kitchen. So, the devotee was absent, so Prabhupada asked, where is that devotee? Why has not come? So, another devotee reports to Prabhupada that he was working in kitchen, he was cutting something, and his finger got cut. So, he's treating it. So, Prabhupada says, so he was very disturbed, it was very painful. So, Prabhupada says that he was supposed to lose his hand, Krishna gave him just a token punishment, and just a cut on the finger and left him. So, when we talk about opulence, this is parallel to, this protection of Lord is parallel to that. How? Lord gives opulence. When karmis attain opulence, that is because of their karma. But when a devotee attains opulence, that is granted by Lord to engage in his service and purify himself. A non-devotee with his opulence, he will enjoy. Right? He will incur more sin. He will incur more karma, more karmic contents. But when a devotee gets opulence, whatever opulence, whether it's an opulence of intelligence, it's an opulence of wealth, it's an opulence of strength, whatever, fame, he engages his opulence in the service of the Lord and thus he purifies himself. So when Lord grants the opulence, even though it is not in his karma, Lord grants because he knows devotee will not misuse this opulence and implicate himself more in karmic reaction. Rather, devotee will engage in Lord's service, glorify the Lord more and purify himself more. So even if it is not in devotee's karma, Lord grants because Lord knows devotee will engage it very wisely, right? Very judiciously given. Same way when there is a trouble on devotee, Lord protects. But for karmis, Lord does not protect. Lord says in 9th chapter, protection of Lord. In 9th chapter he explains, I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. This is very famous because so samoham sarva bhuteshu nama deshasti na priya. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to them. This is a very significant verse because the first line of this verse refers to the Paramatma feature of the Lord. I envy no one, I am partial, nor am I partial to anyone. So Lord is sitting in everyone's heart. If somebody is as exalted as Brahma or Indra or demigods, Lord is there. If somebody is in a big body, in a drainage or gutter area, still Lord is in his heart. So Lord does not envy anybody. He is equally seated with everybody as Paramatma. Right? And whatever Updashta Anumanta, whatever comes according to his karma, Lord sanctions. Anumanta means granting, benediction, or allowing, permitting. Right? But when it comes to devotee, whoever renders service unto me in devotion, means he is not an ordinary jiva. Now he has come to establish relationship with Lord in devotional service. Immediately Lord's mood is changed. Immediately Lord says, I am also friend to him. So Lord, when there is a question of friendship, there is personal relationship, personal attention, personal care, personal bonding, Lord immediately says, if somebody renders devotional service unto me, I personally involve in his mind. Right? So this is establishing relationship with the Lord. So when there is a trouble on a devotee, when a devotee is in trouble, then Lord personally takes charge of his life. Lord always personally takes charge of a devotee's life, but Lord personally involves. And see, for karmis, when they do sinful activities, if their karma sanctions, the karma entails that his hand has to get cut, Lord allows it to cut because Lord is sitting as Paramatma. Without his permission, it cannot happen. And so many people lose hand, leg, eyes, ears, so many things. So for non-devotee, it goes as per his karma. Why it happens? Because a person loses an opulence when he has misused it. Whatever opulence a person has actually belongs to Lord. This body belongs to Lord because it's made of Lord's energy. Right? Mind, intelligence belong to Lord because they are made of Lord's energy. The wealth, the strength, the fame, whatever one acquires in this world is all Lord's energy. So everything belongs to Krishna. We also belong to Krishna as a soul. So when everything belongs to Krishna, everything has to be used in Krishna's service. But when a karmi gets opulence as per his karma, a non-devotee gets opulence as per his karma, he thinks, I have earned it, so I should enjoy it. Instead of engaging Lord's property in Lord's service, he enjoys it. And sometimes he enjoys it in a tamasic way, which is more sinful. Rasic, Tattvic, any kind of enjoyment is sinful because it's Lord's property. You are not entitled to enjoy. You are supposed to, bound to engage in Lord's service. If you don't engage in Lord's service and you want to enjoy in a sattvic way, rasic way, tamasic way, it is binding. So when somebody uses Lord's property against Lord or for personal enjoyment, this opulence of the Lord, which Lord has granted, entangles him more. To save a jiva from more sinful activities, Lord takes away his opulences, takes away his happiness. But when a devotee is bound by karma, due to our past karma, we are supposed to suffer something. very severely. But when Lord knows that if I don't take away his opulence, he will engage it in my service and purify. He will automatically, by his devotional service, purify himself. Right? So, the protection of opulence of a jiva, devotee or non-devotee, depends on his consciousness. If a jiva is Krishna conscious, Lord knows that this opulence will not make him more sinful. That devotee will engage it in my service, purify himself, glorify me, so he lets it happen, lets it be with it. So when we see that example Prabhupada gives, that the devotee's hand was supposed to be cut, but Krishna gave this token punishment. That means devotee has learned how to use this hand properly. So when he has learned how to use this hand properly, and he is going to purify his existence with the engagement of his hand in devotional service, Krishna allows it to be there. But when he knows that this jiva will further implicate himself with these opulences, with his strength, with his facilities, with his wealth or whatever, intelligence, then Lord withdraws that. So in this life he allows prarabdha, whatever allows. But when we see somebody is born with some disability or some, poverty stricken or some less facilities, it is to be understood that whatever he had received from the Lord, he has misused it against the Lord for his personal gratification or whatever. So now Lord is depriving him of that opulence. Why? Because if it is again given, his consciousness is still sense gratification, materialistic consciousness. He will again misuse, again implicate. So to purify him, Lord withdraws his opulence. But with devotees, it is not like that. Lord grants it. Because when Lord sees that yes, he will not implicate himself more. So Krishna protects a devotee like this. Now here, another instance, another continuation of the purport. The Prabhupada is explaining. Here our activities are controlled by time. Right? As time comes, sometimes it is questioned that like non-devotees die, devotees also die. So time will take up everything. Mrityu sarva harasjam, devotees, whatever opulence devotees have, that is also taken away. Whatever opulence non-devotees have, that is also taken away. And this body is also taken away. So here, we should understand, for a non-devotee, whatever is in his possession, he may consider it is his opulence. But for a devotee, whatever is in his possession, he never considers it is my opulence. It is Lord's. Whether it is with me, it belongs to Krishna. If it is not with me, it belongs to Krishna. When it is with me, the opulence that a devotee earns is devotional service, not the wealth in his possession. That anyway is Krishna's. What he earns through this wealth, what he earns through his intelligence, strength, whatever, his efforts, what he earns is devotional credit or sukriti. Right? But a karmi thinks whatever possession he has got, that is only his wealth. And what he earns through is more karma. So real opulence. That's why now Lord is saying here, Prabhupada explains in the purport, the achievement of the devotee is devotional service and the consequent opulence of Vaikuntha Loka. So real opulence has to be understood in this way, not the material possessions. Who has got what facility, who has got what fame, strength, or wealth, or intelligence, or beauty. That is not the real opulence. These are the medium. These are the medium to acquire the real opulence, which is devotional service. So when a devotee dies, when a karmi dies, he feels this is my acquisition and I have lost it. But when a devotee dies, he doesn't feel, oh, I have lost all this wealth. Why? It was always Krishna. It was never mine. What I earned through this was devotional credit. Right? And that is never lost. So, Mrityu Sarva Harasjam, what Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, he steals away everything, that is his material opulence, because that is his property. But that is for non-devotees. But for a devotee, he never considered this was mine. It was always Krishna's. Even if Krishna takes away, it is Krishna's. If Krishna gives me also, it is Krishna's. But through this, what I earned was devotional service. And Krishna says, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. I will protect that. So when a devotee dies, he has no fear of losing anything. Why? Because his devotional service or devotional credit always goes with him. Right? So this is a big difference between what a devotee owns or possesses and what a karmi owns and possesses. Right? So karmi's opulences and devotee's opulences are not on the same platform. it is the difference of consciousness. If a devotee also acts like karmi consciousness, sometimes people ask, right? Sometimes people ask, if by Lord's grace I have got so much of wealth, no, because I prayed to Lord, I worship Lord, and then I got some business profit. So by Lord's grace I have got this opulence. So it has to be accepted as Lord's prasad. So now can I enjoy this? I can engage in sense gratification. So they feel that Lord has given a prasad in the form of business profit. Now I can enjoy this prasad. But the point is, prasada is to be served. Prasada seva. Prasada is meant for purification, not for enjoyment. That's why when we chant Seva Vidya this prayer, it is to bring about this consciousness that this is Lord's mercy. It is meant for my purification. Tarvate vibhati loma surmati. And take jeta katin samsare. I am drowning in this samsara sagar. This is Lord's mercy to uplift me. So when Lord gives, sometimes people ask like this, Prabhu, when we get business profit, so we should consider Lord Prasad, so we can now nicely enjoy it. No, Prasadam is meant to uplift you from drowning in this material ocean. Right? So we should take it as, oh, Lord has given me this for purification. So what is that process of purification? Not to enjoy this wealth, but to engage again in Krishna's service and earn more devotional credits. So our opulences are meant for, every opulence has to be engaged in Krishna's service and increase our devotional credit. And that is how the Lord will protect us, protect our opulences. And Prabhupada says, if you give, if you take one step towards Krishna, he takes 10 steps towards you. If you give 1 rupee to Krishna, he gives million rupees back to you. Right? In that fruit vendor story, when Prabhupada explains, he says, if somebody gives little to Krishna, Krishna gives back million times. So, this is the way of protecting. If somebody is even attached to opulences, I am very much attached to material opulences, I want more material opulences, then the way to increase material opulences is again to give to Krishna. So when Krishna says, oh, he is giving it back to me, Krishna will grant more. That's not a devotee's mode actually, but even if somebody is attached like that to material opulences and he wants to increase his opulence, he should go on giving to Krishna, Krishna will go on giving back, and that's how he will increase. But a devotee always thinks, how I can serve, glorify Lord, and how I can purify myself. So for a devotee, material opulences are meant for this perspective, this vision. That is how devotee sees them. Right? So we'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai.